Coming up, authorities release more details in a Pittsburgh murder case.
We got a wind advisory in effect, but I tell you, it's going to warm us up and dry out. The latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
Also, a nonprofit from Missouri expands into Kansas.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Bronte Sorotsky. We'll get to those stories and more, but first, let's go over to Michael Hayslip, who has more on some beautiful 80-degree weather we're going to be having today.
So I have to tell everybody what happened there when we started the show. My batteries in the microphone were in backwards.
Well, that certainly does not help.
So I was actually frantically exchanging them and making sure that they were correct.
I was wondering why you weren't saying anything, and I was like, do I need to start ad-libbing the weather right
now?
No,
when I looked at my microphone, I'm like, why? I'm flipping everything back and forth and nothing's turning on. And then when I popped the lid on it, I went, oh, these are in backwards. And that's why I was able to quickly switch them.
Glad you did.
All right, so yes, but Bronte, you are correct. Here's the thing though, it's going to be windy as all get out.
Okay.
Nice thing is, we're not going to have to worry about rain until Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. That is going to bring thunderstorm activity, but let's talk about today into tomorrow, because right now, a delightful 72 degrees over 7th and Rangeline. Now, as we talk about that wind, it's going to pick up, we're talking about anywhere from 30 to 40 miles an hour later this afternoon. I mean, look at that. Pre-sunrise, we're already skirting between 10 and 15 miles per hour, 15 and 20 miles per hour out in southeast Kansas. And that's why we have the wind advisory in effect for all our counties in TAN. And that's going to last, that Monday, 1 p.m. timeline, that's what the National Weather Service is going to go with. I'm going to tell you this much. It's going to last quite a while. As far as the Skywatch Storm Tracker goes, a little light rain hanging out to our west, not problematic whatsoever, and that it will dissipate before it gets to us. Our temperatures, look at this, we're as high as 76 right now in Chanute, which is a far cry from what we were last week. But the nice thing is, we deserve this and a chance to dry out. But let's talk about Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So we skirt through Monday, everything stays out into central Kansas. Then Tuesday, here we go. Watch this thing bubble up from the northwest. As it rolls through, it will get on us for Wednesday morning. And we're going to talk about going back into heavy rain, and it's going to stick around. I know, this is a 7-day forecast where I'm not going to be able to go to the grocery store because everybody's going to hate me for this. But here we go again.
Hey, at least today, people can enjoy, the Memorial Day.
The weekend was great.
It was.
Yeah, it's hard to complain about what happened this weekend. And then once we get started Tuesday night, we're going to continue this all through the beginning of June.
Great. Well,
I know.
What a great way to start the summer break and all that stuff.
But other than that, everybody enjoy your Memorial Day.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we have today, and that's what really matters.
Let's be super myopic and just concentrate on Monday. Let's not worry about Tuesday night into Wednesday.
No. Well, sounds good. Thanks, Michael. Authorities arrest another suspect and give more details about a Pittsburgh murder case. Pittsburgh police said authorities have arrested 19-year-old Dominic Short in connection with shootings this month in Pittsburgh. A warrant has been issued for Short on May 18th. U.S. Marshals and deputies with the Greene County, Missouri Sheriff's Office arrested Short last night in Springfield without incident. The charges against Short include first-degree murder. At last report, Short was jailed in Greene County awaiting extradition back to Kansas. The case stems from the May 13th shootings at multiple addresses on the 100 block of West 23rd Street in Pittsburgh. 2 women were shot. 40-year-old Stephanie Short of Pittsburgh died at the scene. 46-year-old Velma Cubey was in stable condition. In a news release, police say they determined multiple people had exchanged gunfire. Authorities had previously arrested James Hamilton of Pittsburgh in this case. He is charged with first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder, among other crimes. You can read more details about this case at our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Wichita Police Department responded to a shooting at the banquet hall on East 25th Street during a large graduation party. Officials say that's where they found 17-year-old Boise Barfield shot. He later died at a hospital. Police say during the party there was a disturbance between two groups that led up to shots being fired, striking Boise. A 15-year-old female victim who was fleeing the business during all of this was hit by a car at the intersection of 25th Street North and Estelle. That driver was identified as 18-year-old Samara Rockmore, who fled the scene in her vehicle. The 15-year-old victim was transported to an area hospital where she later died from her injuries. Rockmore, the driver, was later located and arrested and booked for felony hit and run. The investigation is ongoing. One person is dead and 7 others injured following a shooting at a Memorial Day festival in northeast Oklahoma. The shooting happened in the small community of Taft just after midnight. Taft is in Muskogee County, just west of Muskogee, Oklahoma. According to the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, 1 person was killed and at least 7 others were injured. 2 of those were minors. Witnesses say they heard at least 40 shots fired. The OSBI says the investigation is continuing and no arrests have been made. Staying in northeast Oklahoma, the Grand River Dam Authority police are searching for a missing boater. Officials say they're searching a large area of Grand Lake for 48-year-old Troy Young of Bixby. GRDA police say they were notified Young was missing around 8 a.m. Saturday morning, and that Young was last seen around 10:30 Friday night. Officers recovered Young's boat near the entrance of Ketchum Cove, about 1.5 miles from Cedar Port. Authorities are asking any boaters in the area to be mindful of the search efforts, and anyone with information is asked to call the GRDA police. A Missouri nonprofit is expanding to Kansas to promote women entrepreneurship. United We, a nonpartisan nonprofit whose mission is to advance all women's economic and civic leadership, is set to launch a task force and host multiple town halls across Kansas, including here in Pittsburgh. The data collected during these town halls will become a report outlining key barriers women in Kansas face concerning the workforce.
And then we'll quickly move into working on what we heard and put together and compile a Kansas Town Halls report. The objective is to release that mid-November, and we will be in that report sharing, here's what we heard, but here are some potential opportunities to reduce the economic barriers for women and their families in the state of Kansas.
Later in the show, we'll hear from a female CEO in Southeast Kansas about barriers she's faced in the workforce and what she'd like to see change.
Tim, come get me on the 2-shot right here. Because Bronte's, this is one thing that I love when you and I anchor together. If I say the name Pete Mitchell, does that name mean anything to you?
No.
Control room?
Am I supposed to know what's happening right now?
Maverick. Tim's like, all of a sudden, I saw the light bulb go off with Tim right there. He's like, Pete Mitchell, that's Maverick.
What?
Tom Cruise, Top Gun.
Yeah.
So I was just reading a story. The new Top Gun movie. Do you realize this is the first time Tom Cruise has had an opening movie that grossed more than $100 million over a weekend?
Wow.
This is Tom Cruise's biggest opening of all time.
Good for him. I didn't realize. Are you like a Tom Cruise fan or? Why are you making a face at me?
I'm a Top Gun fan.
Oh, I haven't seen it. I didn't even know that this is like a.
No, this is why I love working with you. Have you seen the first Top Gun?
No.
Okay. I will tell you that it is one of the first movies I ever saw that I thought I was going to get in trouble for, because there is a love scene in it, and I was flushed when I was watching the first one, and it's so mundane now when you look back on it. But that guy, you need to watch the first Top Gun.
Okay.
I think it stands up, and you're gonna love this fact.
Okay.
55% of ticket buyers in the United States that watched the second Top Gun that came out this weekend were over the age of 40.
Over?
Yes.
All right.
See, because it was such a part of our childhood, is that it contributed to making $123 million.
That is kind of crazy number.
It was projected at $80 million over the weekend. It made 123.
That is impressive. Okay, this might have convinced me, honestly, to watch. I think the first one I saw it on Netflix or something, so you'll have to watch that and go see this one.
Does the name Kenny Loggins mean anything to you?
Is that the guy from Footloose that sang that song? Yeah. See, I know I know some of these things.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. That is not the guy from Footloose, but no, wait.
He sang Footloose,
the
didn't
music.
he? Yeah.
Right. And then he did Top Gun and Caddyshack. And,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I've heard of these movies. I just
Coming up
haven't
next,
seen
Michael talks to Bronte about Loggins and Messina. Our weather trend for today is going to be sunny skies and highs around the 80s. Bronte, I greatly appreciate the way you play along with that. You do such a good job. All right, and it's going to be windy. We have wind advisories. We're going to gust up to 40 miles per hour. Then Tuesday night into Wednesday, get ready, because here it comes again. The rain sticks with us to wrap up May and open up June.
Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Frontenac hopes to gain a state title in softball. Plus, President Biden travels to Uvalde to mourn with the community as gun control debates rage on in D.C. And the FDA investigates a hepatitis outbreak possibly linked to organic strawberries. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Pitt State men sent 15 athletes to compete in this weekend's NCAA Division II Outdoor Track and Field Championships. And the Gorillas, they're coming home as national champions. Pitt State squad received this warm welcome home after capturing the program's second national title and their first in outdoor. Lewis Rollins and Braylon Brewer, they led the way for the Gorillas, winning individual titles in their events. The Gorilla men tallying more than 20 All-American performances, capping off just a tremendous season for Pitt State.
You couldn't script it up any better than this. I mean, we did the Triple Crown, MIAA, cross country, indoor, outdoor, and to cap it off with an outdoor national championship. It's just, I'm lost for words for what we've accomplished in this group that we have, and amazing young men, and for me to be able to lead these young men to achieve such an accomplishment is a blessing.
They were gorillas this weekend, meaning they got the ball rolling, they got the fire started, and Lewis Rollins, and what they got going in the 4x1, just outstanding. And once you get that train going, these guys know how to finish, and that's exactly what they did this weekend.
Congratulations to Coach Rutledge and all those athletes. What a tremendous season that Pittsburgh State's put together. Crowder Rough Riders in action, opening round of the Junior College World Series taking place in Grand Junction, Colorado. Rough Riders earning the 5 seed in the tournament and up against Central Arizona. And after a mid-game rain delay, just kind of shut things down. Central Arizona tied this thing up in the 9th, and then in extra innings, Adamo Storlano, a walk-off home run. And the Rough Riders win it 5-4 as Crowder up again tomorrow afternoon. Columbus Titans finishing the 2022 season as the Class 3A state runner-up. Best finish in program history. Titans played for the state championship on Friday. Fell to Wichita Collegiate 10-3, but with that being said, just an absolutely tremendous season. 22-3 overall record and only losing 2 seniors.
You know, Jackson and Jake, they missed that one COVID year, but they've worked hard. Jackson, he's done a great job in the infield and, hitting, being leadoff spot. Jake, he comes in, he's been a good reliever, coming in and throws some games. He had like 4 wins this year. I'm going to miss them both. We all will. And, you hate to see those seniors have to go, but, that's the way it is.
And then something else happened this weekend, if you guys haven't figured it out by now since I've been back on air. I can't help you. That girl right there hoisting up the trophy. That 18. That girl right there. Madeline Jadis. There's Heather scoring. I don't even, there's Caitlin, there's Avery. I'm not even going to go through this. Avery Johnson was unreal on the mound. I think there was one point in time where I think she went 8 for 8 at one point in time. Frontenac girls, they scored 4 runs in the first inning in all 3 games that they played. Anyway, what I'm saying is your Frontenac Raiders are your 3A Kansas State champions.
You know, AJ, she's a rock star. We've worked a lot here this season, just understanding what her role is and helping her learn to trust her defense because it is so good behind her. And, we're lucky to have her. We're happy to have her. And, I think everybody here is proud of her, and I hope she's proud of herself because she's made great gains this season, not just with strikeouts and things like that, but the mental part of the game, too.
That was head coach Cassie Bush talking about Avery Johnson in the circle, and rock star would be an understatement. This weekend also marked the start of the state tournament for Missouri girls soccer. CJ hosting Glendale. Bulldogs fell 4-0, finishing with a 21-6 record though. They graduate 7 seniors, including 4 that played varsity all 4 years.
Those 4 have been playing since they've been little kids together and travel around playing club teams and going to Springfield and playing together, so it's a really good nucleus for us. They came in as freshmen, and at that situation would allow them to come in and start as freshmen. We've got some people with a lot of playing time this year, varsity experience this year, and I think they're going to slide right in and pick up where they left off, we hope.
Think about that once again, folks. That class went 21-6 this year on the soccer field. What a tremendous season. Still to come on the KOAM Morning News, Japan opening its doors to tourists once again. And a check on our 7-day forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Great looking start to our Memorial Day as we already have temperatures in the 70s and up in the 80s. We do have wind advisories as it will gust up to 40 miles per hour. Stay on the dry side for today and tomorrow until we get into Tuesday night. And once we get into Tuesday night, here we go. The thunderstorm activity increases and takes us into Wednesday morning. And after it does, once again, it's all the Gulf moisture moving up from the southwest, giving us rain chances throughout the duration of the 7-day forecast. Now, with that being said, our something to talk about on the KOAMnewsnow.com/vote Instapoll, and you can connect to us via our Facebook page. President Joe Biden, First Lady Jill Biden, visiting Uvalde, Texas over the weekend, grieving with the 21 lives who were murdered by a gunman at an elementary school. Debate over gun control measures continue in D.C. Cole Higgins with the story.
President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden arriving in Uvalde, Texas Sunday. First visiting Robb Elementary School, laying flowers at the memorial. Biden acting as consoler-in-chief, embracing the school's principal, before walking along the row of memorial wreaths from picture to picture of each of the 19 children and 2 teachers, 21 people in total who were gunned down inside the school.
I'm all for the president coming here. I think he's got a good heart. He knows what it is to lose children at a young age.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott also stopping by the memorial, an onlooker issuing a plea.
Please, Governor Abbott, help Uvalde County. We need change.
I hope that some politicians see this and try to meet in the middle and work together.
In the wake of the horrific Uvalde shooting, some bipartisan voices in Congress are talking about gun reform.
And I can't say for certain, but I can tell you I sense a different feeling among my colleagues after Uvalde.
There are people taking these guns, these ARs, under the age of 21. Can we stop all of it? No. Can we mitigate it? Certainly. And we should be doing that now.
I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
Brings us to our something to talk about on the Insta poll. Do you think lawmakers should pass new gun laws. Couple ways to connect. You can go to koamnewsnow.com/vote or via our Facebook page at KOAM News Now. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, the FDA is investigating an outbreak of hepatitis A in 3 states that is potentially linked to organic strawberries. Federal health officials say there have been 17 hepatitis A cases reported as part of the outbreak in California, Minnesota, and North Dakota. The vaccine-preventable liver infection has resulted in 12 hospitalizations so far. The brands involved are Fresh Campo and HEB and were sold at Aldi, Kroger, Safeway, Sprouts, Trader Joe's, and Walmart, among a few other stores. Most of the illnesses were reported between March 28th to April 30th. But hepatitis A symptoms can last to 2 months. If consumers purchased or froze any of the strawberries, the FDA says they should be thrown away. The number of sudden and mysterious hepatitis cases in children has gone up to at least 650 worldwide. That's according to the World Health Organization Friday. About a third of the cases are in the UK and 216 have been reported in the US. Around 75% of the patients are under 5 and have been healthy before this illness. Common viruses known to cause hepatitis have been ruled out. Researchers are also looking into environmental exposures, toxins, and perhaps co-infections with another virus. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Coming up, authorities release more details in a Pittsburgh murder case.
While we skirt through today with warm temperatures, we have thunderstorms once again to open up the month of June. We'll have the latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
Also, a nonprofit from Missouri expands into Kansas.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Bronte Sorotsky. Let's throw it over to Michael talking about some sunny weather we had today.
Here's the thing. I know that this is a holiday. I want everybody to get out and enjoy what's looking like a marvelous start. There's 7th and Range Line right there. It's going to be gorgeous today. It's going to be windy. I'll give you that much. It's going to be windy. But at the same point in time, we have a limited amount of days to get stuff in before the rain begins once again. So fight the wind, get out and enjoy the fresh air because we have wind advisories, but we also too have thunderstorms on the horizon. Not for today. All that out to the west that you see, that will stay out to the west. What we will pay attention to is tomorrow night as it develops down to the south, we're going to have thunderstorm activity. So if we put Future Track into motion right here, what you'll see is nothing really to speak of on Monday or Tuesday until we get to Tuesday night, because here we roll. Picks up, everything moves in, heavy rain, thunder, lightning, going to take us all the way into Wednesday morning. And so as we wrap up the month of June, or the month of May, and get ready for the beginning of June, this is crazy to say, we have more rain. And we're going to keep that in between. After Tuesday night, we know we're going to get it Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Even after that, we're going to keep it at 30 and 40% chances of rain throughout the rest of the week.
I'm just gonna enjoy today and pretend that's not happening.
No, it's why I can't go to the grocery store, because people just look at me with disgust.
Hey, people, just enjoy today. You know, at least
and tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be great.
Yeah, enjoy these next few days.
Right.
I mean, I feel like this is the holiday anyways, so this is the time.
And then after that, when I go to the grocery store, look at me with disgust, but just kind of like let me get my sourdough, and you can look at me and be like, weather guys, making it rain all the time.
Yeah, how dare you?
I know. I know. Yeah, Mother Nature and I we're not exactly copacito right now.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks, Michael. Authorities arrest another suspect and give more details about a Pittsburgh murder case. Pittsburgh police said authorities have arrested 19-year-old Dominic Short in connection with shootings this month in Pittsburgh. A warrant had been issued for Short on May 18th. U.S. Marshals and deputies with the Greene County, Missouri Sheriff's Office arrested Short last night in Springfield without incident. The charges against Short include first-degree murder. At last report, Short was jailed in Greene County, awaiting extradition back to Kansas. The case stems from the May 13th shootings at multiple addresses on the 100 block of West 23rd Street in Pittsburgh. 2 women were shot. 40-year-old Stephanie Short of Pittsburgh died at the scene. 46-year-old Velma Cubey was in stable condition. In a news release today, police say they determined multiple people had exchanged gunfire. Authorities had previously arrested James Hamilton of Pittsburgh in this case. He's charged with first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder, among other crimes. You can read more details about this case at our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. 1 person is dead and 7 others injured following a shooting at a Memorial Day festival. The shooting happened in the small community of Taft just after midnight. Taft is in Muskogee County, just west of Muskogee, Oklahoma. According to the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, 1 person was killed and at least 7 others were injured. 2 of those were minors. Witnesses say they heard at least 40 shots fired. The OSBI says the investigation is continuing. No arrests have been made. And staying in northeast Oklahoma, the Grand River Dam Authority police are searching for a missing boater. Officials say they're searching a large area of Grand Lake for 48-year-old Troy Young of Bixby. The GRDA police say they were notified Young was missing around 8 a.m. Saturday morning and that Young was last seen around 10:30 Friday night. Officers recovered Young's boat near the entrance of Ketchum Cove, about 1.5 miles from Cedar Port. Authorities are asking any boaters in the area to be mindful of the search efforts, and anyone with information is asked to call the GRDA police. Well, Katy Days kicked off Friday in Parsons, Kansas. Katy Days celebrates the first Missouri-Kansas-Texas train arriving in a southeast Kansas area, later to be known as Parsons. In addition to the parade, activities include food and railroad-related fun.
From somebody who, this is my hometown. This is where I grew up, and to leave and start my life, but have that opportunity to come back, it's amazing to see the camaraderie of the people and to see how people have bounced back after such a terrible event. And we are Parsons. Parsons is strong.
The fun started at 11 a.m. and went until 10:30 at night to wrap up the festival. Well, United We is a Missouri nonprofit expanding into Kansas with a mission to advance all women's economic and civic leadership and break down barriers blocking women from joining the workforce. Throughout the summer, they'll be hosting a variety of town halls throughout the state, including in Pittsburgh, to identify these roadblocks impacting women. If more Kansas women participated in the workforce, one study shows that Kansas could grow its economy by 10 to 15% by 2025. It's part of why United We, a nonprofit aimed at advancing women's economic and civic leadership, is launching a Kansas Women's Economic Development Task Force. The nonprofit CEO, Wendy Doyle, says she's looking to collect data to enact policy change.
We certainly hope it gets their attention just by, hearing firsthand and hearing the personal stories. That really seems to resonate with policymakers versus a quantitative research report. So that will be our goal and our mission, and we'll get to work quickly to start to educate policymakers that will then help identify a strategic and focused policy agenda.
Lissa Regier is the CEO of Thrive Allen County. She's also on the Kansas Town Hall Task Force. Despite holding such a high title, she says she still struggles to be seen as a leader by some.
I was in a meeting with 2 of my colleagues and some gentlemen who run another business, and it was very apparent to me that that gentleman did not need to see every woman in the room, and he caught one of my colleagues' names and then said, and whoever, I can't remember your name. My colleague then made sure after this gentleman was done talking to say, I want to clarify that the person's name you couldn't remember is our president and CEO, and she's the one that makes the decisions on whether or not we go after this funding for you. I think that there are still a lot of obstacles for women leaders. There are a lot of people that just don't want to see us in the room and don't want to recognize us in the room.
Doyle says she wants to see change come from these town halls and get rid of barriers in women's way.
We certainly hope that employers will take this information to heart and look at what they can do internally to reduce the barriers for their workforce.
She says she expects issues such as rising fuel and food costs, as well as the baby formula shortage, to be significant talking points. The Pittsburgh Town Hall will be August 3rd at Pitt State. Lunch and childcare will be provided. You can find more information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's Michael with a look at your forecast.
Let's roll mid-80s today. Humidity won't be too bad, so it's not like it's going to feel like 90 or anything like that. Probably feel about like 88, 89. We do watch out for the south wind, though, as it's going to gust up to 40 miles per hour.
Well, this morning we're discussing gun control. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden landed in Texas to go to Uvalde. The President and First Lady mourned outside the community, laying flowers at the memorial. He also acted as consoler-in-chief as he embraced the elementary school's principal. However, in Washington, D.C., there's a hot debate about gun control. This comes as not only Democrats voicing their support for it, but some Republicans as well. This brings us to our something to talk about. Do you think lawmakers should pass new gun laws?
Right now, Bronte, 85% of our respondents saying yes, they should pass new gun control laws, 15% saying no. Of course, we keep the poll open all morning long, and a couple ways to connect with us. KOAMnewsnow.com/vote takes you directly to the poll. You can also connect to us via our Facebook page at KOAM News Now.
Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. A mother desperately looking for a kidney uses different ways to ask for it. Plus, heavy rains in Brazil kills dozens of people. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News, more real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, at least 56 people have been killed in northeastern Brazil in landslides and floods triggered by heavy rains. Officials say most of the deaths were reported during the weekend, and hundreds of people have also been forced to leave their homes. So much rain is falling that officials are urging residents in landslide-prone areas to get to safer places. Some places have had more rain in a day than in the month of May. Kim Jong-un met with other top officials from the country Sunday to examine North Korea's COVID-19 situation. According to state media, their assessment was that the epidemic is being, quote, improved. The North reported more than 89,500 new fever cases between Friday and Saturday. However, there was no mention of additional deaths. While the Memorial Day weekend kicks off summer travel season for Americans, more tourism options are opening up overseas. Japan is ready to welcome back American tourists after being shut down for 2 years due to the pandemic. Starting June 10th, American vacationers on guided package tours will be allowed back into Japan. Visitors from the U.S. will not have to show proof of vaccination or need to isolate or test upon arrival. Japan's tourism agency estimates around 100,000 people have visited the country between January and March. That's down from the 8 million tourists they had in the same period in 2019. The Japanese tourism industry isn't expecting their business to fully rebound until spring of 2023. New Zealand and California have created a partnership to fight climate change together. It came during a meeting between Governor Gavin Newsom and New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern in San Francisco Friday. They signed a memorandum of cooperation to establish the partnership. Governor Newsom said the relationship will accelerate efforts to fight climate change and allow them to learn from one another. According to the governor's press office Twitter account, the Prime Minister says they have a natural connection, and she is pleased to put pen to paper and continue their cooperation. That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back with the news you need to know before you head out the door. Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. One person is dead and 7 others injured following a shooting at a Memorial Day festival. The shooting happened in the small community of Taft just after midnight. Taft is in Muskogee County, just west of Muskogee, Oklahoma. According to the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, 1 person was killed and at least 7 others were injured. 2 of those were minors. Witnesses say they heard at least 40 shots fired. The OSBI says the investigation is continuing and no arrests have been made. Staying in northeast Oklahoma, the Grand River Dam Authority police are searching for a missing boater. Officials say they're searching a large area of Grand Lake for 48-year-old Troy Young of Bixby. The GRDA police say they were notified Young was missing around 8 a.m. Saturday morning and that Young was last seen around 10:30 Friday night. Officers recovered Young's boat near the entrance of Ketchum Cove, about 1.5 miles from Cedar Point. Authorities are asking any boaters in the area to be mindful of the search efforts, and anyone with information is asked to call the GRDA police. The Mount Hope Christian Church of Christ hosted a potluck this weekend. At the event, they had a homemade ice cream competition with 3 entries. The homemade cookies and cream won. The goal of the potluck is to increase fellowship in the community and among its members. The Fort Scott National Historic Site is in the 4th year of the annual Symbols of Sacrifice Field of Honor. They placed just under 8,600 flags out in their field honoring those who've fallen and who've sacrificed for our country. Guided tours started Friday and run through today. These tours are both in the morning and the afternoon. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And when you do head out the door, it is delightful outside. We're talking about temperatures pre-sunrise already in the low 70s, an indicator that this afternoon, maybe a little warm, but our average high for this time of year would be about 82 degrees. So we're not far off that. The nice thing is we don't have to fight the high humidity. What we will have to fight, the wind. Coming in from the south, gusting up to 40 miles per hour. Now, we stay dry for today and most of Tuesday as well. So if you need to get anything done, you got 2 days to do it, because Tuesday night, here we go. We got more rain on the horizon. Thunderstorm activity works in with Gulf moisture, and that's going to present us with not only heavy rains once again, but also thunder and lightning, and we keep those percentages for rain in between 30 and 40% all the way for the beginning of June. So extremely boring, because when we started this, I thought I had 4 minutes on the clock, and now they're only going to give me 1 minute. Yes, I'm looking at Tim, our incomparable director. All right, let's talk about our precipitation that we've picked up this month, because right now we are, say about 6.5 inches above normal. We would usually be about 6.1 for a month of May, and now as we get ready to wrap up the month, look at that, 12.25. Now we're going to get one more dry day out of this, but here's what's going to transpire as we wrap up May and begin June. We are actually going to have thunderstorm activity from Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then keep those possibilities for rain sticking around all the way into next weekend. So really, it's today and tomorrow. Get everything done outside, and we'll be back with more KOAM Morning News next. Live look over 7th and Rangeline. Here's 5 minutes till the top of the hour. 72 degrees is what we have right now in Joplin. I want to pay attention to that second column, where we got our wind coming in from the south at 13 miles per hour, because it is going to be a blustery one. That is for sure. We're already seeing, these are not wind gusts, these are sustained winds. We're already pushing up in between 15 and 20 miles per hour in between Independence and Chanute. Tapers off a little bit as you get on the eastern part of southwest Missouri, and that is exactly why you will see that they are not in a wind advisory, or I shouldn't say they, I should say you, if you live on the eastern part of southwest Missouri, are not part of the wind advisory that does affect, about 90% of the 4 states and takes us all the way into the afternoon hours. That being said, don't think that it's going to taper off after that, because it is going to blow 15, 20 sustained, gusting 30 to 40 miles per hour. Key factor on this is, remember, if you have a high profile vehicle and you're traveling east-west, once again, because the wind's coming in from the south. So if you're traveling east to west, say 126, 44, obviously, Highway 400, those are going to be your very problematic areas. Look at the Skywatch storm tracker as, are you good, Bronte? Yeah?
What?
Well, no.
I'm just stretching.
Yeah. Bronte is getting ready to bring us the news. And it was a great sight. Skywatch Storm Tracker keeps all the rain out to the west. We got a little bit this morning, but not problematic. Our temperatures right now, low 70s, can't beat that. It's delightful when you walk outside. As far as the Memorial Day goes, you'll notice the defining line of where the cold front is right here on the color contour. And it's really through West Kansas and then kind of works its way into central Nebraska, but it leaves us with nice, warm, and dry air. Humidity will not be a factor for today. We'll keep our thunderstorms isolated to the upper Midwest, and then the Pacific Northwest. They've actually had a little mess on their hands over the holiday weekend. But for us, really no worries. So if you need to get out and do anything, I would do it either today or tomorrow, because here's why. Fight the wind. Also, too, make sure you remember why this day is important to us and why we celebrate it. Take time, especially if there's a veteran in your family or you're a veteran. Know that all of us here at KOAM and Fox 14, we thank you. As we get through Future Track, though, I want to point out we're going to get thunderstorm activity Tuesday night all the way into Wednesday morning. And even though our temperatures don't drop, we got a wet beginning to June. We'll be back right after this.
In northeast Oklahoma leaves 1 dead and 7 others injured.
We have a delightful start for our Memorial Day weekend. However, we have thunderstorms on the way. We're going to have the latest in the Skywatch Weather Center.
Also, Color Me Rad surprises people with a visit from a Disney princess.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Bronte Sorotsky. We'll get to those stories and more, but first, let's go over to Michael Hayslip, who brings us a beautiful start to the work week.
Well, I think the work week, wouldn't that be tomorrow?
Yeah, I was starting to read that.
No, it's okay.
Well, it's the work week for us.
I'm not calling you out. That's not what I'm doing. Yes, you are exactly right. This is the beginning of our work week. And for all of you that get to enjoy a Monday off, thank you for joining us. And once again, Bronte and I have been reiterating why this day is so important. For those of you, and yes, I understand the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day. But for those of you who have served our country, or for those of you that may have had family that sacrificed for our country, know that our thoughts and prayers are with you, and we're thinking about you on this day. Bronte, I tell you, one thing that we can do with the technology of the Skywatch Weather Center is that looks like a gorgeous start, right? Watch this. Let's remove that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that sky.
We get a better view of it. Well, I tell you what, since we're doing this, let's blow the clock. Let's just have fun with this.
Ooh.
How about that? Not bad, huh?
Not bad at all.
Not bad. I like that. All right, so we sit at 72 degrees right now, as we actually have about 3 minutes till official sunrise over 7th and Rangeline there, but it is absolutely beautiful. You'll notice the winds, though. That's what we're going to concentrate on today as they work in from the south, and they will gust up to 40 miles per hour, leading us to wind advisories for the duration of our morning into the afternoon. Also, too, while we have a marvelous Memorial Day on tap, 85 degrees, sunny skies, Tuesday afternoon, all the way through is going to be great. And then comes Tuesday night. Thunderstorms pick up. That'll carry us into Wednesday. We're going to open up June with, guess what? Rain.
Oh, man.
I know.
Well, let's just enjoy the next 2 days.
Well, we're going to clock in here by the time that May is over. We are looking at probably the 4th wettest May on record at Joplin Regional Airport.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a big deal. Well, like I said, let's just take in these next 2 days and just
could be
enjoy
worse.
them. Could be.
Because the Pacific Northwest is known for its rain.
I know. I know. I'm something I'm well aware of. Thank you, Michael. 1 person is dead and 7 others injured following a shooting at a Memorial Day festival. Shooting happened in the small community of Taft just after midnight. Taft is in Muskogee County, just west of Muskogee, Oklahoma. According to the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, one person was killed and at least 7 others were injured. 2 of those were minors. Witnesses say they heard at least 40 shots fired. The OSBI says the investigation is continuing and no arrests have been made. The Grand River Dam Authority police are searching for a missing boater. Authorities say they're searching a large area of Grand Lake for 48-year-old Troy Young of Bixby. GRDA police say they were notified Young was missing around 8 a.m. Saturday morning, and that Young was last seen around 10:30 Friday night. Officers recovered Young's boat near the entrance of Ketchum Cove, about 1.5 miles from Cedar Port. Authorities are asking any boaters in the area to be mindful of the search efforts, and anyone with information is asked to call the GRDA police. Wichita Police Department responded to a shooting at the banquet hall on East 25th Street during a large graduation party. Officials say that's where they found 17-year-old Boise Bearfield shot. He later died at a hospital. Police say during the party there was a disturbance between 2 groups that led up to shots being fired, striking Boise. A 15-year-old female victim who was fleeing the business during all this was hit by a car at the intersection of 25th Street North and Estelle. That driver was identified as 18-year-old Samara Rockmore, who fled the scene in her vehicle. The 15-year-old victim was transported to an area hospital where she later died from her injuries. Rockmore, the driver, was later located and arrested and booked for felony hit and run. This investigation is ongoing. Well, in an effort to provide more security for students, Miami Public Schools has started an Adopt a Door campaign. The campaign is a fundraiser aimed at buying lockdown security systems for every door in the district. The security system jams the door and will prevent intruders from entering classrooms. And the district thanks supporters as they've met the fundraising goal for the locks.
To say we care about our kids, we want our kids to be safe. These locks aren't a magic solution, but they're part of many different strategies to try to keep our kids safe. And I think when a student comes to you with an idea like that, what can we do to help develop that idea and get some community action around it?
The district is now setting its sights on installing sensors connected to each lock that will immediately alert the entire school and Miami Police Department if the lock is put in place. The Fort Scott National Historic Site is in the 4th year of the annual Symbols of Sacrifice Field of Honor. They placed just under 8,600 flags out in their field, honoring those who've fallen and who've sacrificed for our country. Guided tours started Friday and run through today. These tours are both in the morning and afternoon.
What this country has gone through, and it's growing through the Civil War, through the Mexican-American War, and all the different strifes and trials and tribulations that we've been through since then. So Memorial Day and Memorial Weekend is just part of that. It's part of our discussion of freedom and what we need to do as a country and as a person to ensure that we stay free.
Workers and volunteers spent 4 hours placing the flags in the field. Well, Color Me Rad had a special guest from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. this weekend. Who was that special guest? Well, it was Princess Elsa from Frozen. They were treated with a performance of her singing songs from the movie, followed by a book reading, arts and crafts, and lastly, a dance party.
One of the little girls kept wanting to go back to Elsa and hug her, and she didn't want to leave. And, you know, unfortunately, Elsa's only here for 2 hours, and so the poor little girl started crying. But the kids are so excited. We had one little girl that didn't know Elsa was going to be here, and when she walked into the room, Elsa was singing, and the pure joy, that look on her face.
Color Me Rad has locations in Joplin and Webb City. Well, today, back in 1964, the Beatles went #1 on the U.S. singles chart with Love Me Do, the group's 4th U.S. #1 in 5 months. The version released in America had Andy White playing drums while Ringo played the tambourine. The British single was a take on which Ringo Starr played the drums.
That is not the album cover from Love Me Do. It would actually be the 4 of them pictured together in a very young fashion, wearing suits. And so I don't know what that That album cover is from Greatest Hits, is what it is.
Oh.
Ah!
There you go. Okay, I
called
this.
it, Tim, didn't I? I knew it. I'm like, I have that record. I know what they look like. Bronte?
Yes.
No, I know you did not grow up on the Beatles, but
I know who they are.
No, I'm not saying
Okay.
that. I was going to ask, do you have a favorite Beatles song?
Okay, that's hard. So when I was like in middle school, I went through a Beatles phase, which is probably really random as like what was I, 13, but I was super into them. I really liked Eleanor Rigby.
Oh, you were good.
Yeah, I had good taste when I was younger.
Bronte, you have great taste now. What are you talking about?
Well, thank you. I haven't listened to them in a while, and this kind of makes me want to listen to them again. Maybe.
I'm not going to lie to you, when you started that story, because I didn't know what it was, like in the back of my head, I was like, nah, 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 nah. Like I just wanted to bust out in song. I'm with you.
I mean, nothing's stopping you.
One of my cherished items at the house, I have the White Album, the original. It's not a new. It's obviously my father's, but yes, at the Hayslip household resides the White Album.
That is super cool.
Yes.
Well, today is kind of probably the perfect day to bust it out and listen. So
that was a great job of transitioning to the weather.
You know, I try my best, Michael. I'm still adjusting to the schedule change, okay?
You are doing a great job.
Thank
Your
you.
taste is impeccable.
Well, thank you.
And the fact that like you're just dropping Eleanor Rigby on all of us.
That is a great song.
It is a great song with dual meanings that is tremendous. I love it. And you're going to love your Memorial Day because your afternoon's going to be highs in the 80s.
Oh, great.
It is going to be windy as get out. We have wind advisories lasting until this afternoon for about 90% of the 4 states. Even if you live on the eastern edge of southwest Missouri, it is still going to be blustery. And get ready for thunderstorms that will arrive Tuesday night and take us into Wednesday morning.
Well, that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. This rat and dog smackdown isn't something you'll see on WWE, but that's okay because only Jeannie Moos can bring us the wild story that isn't something to bark at. Plus, a boating accident leaves multiple people dead. And researchers find a way for medicine to go down easier. You're watching the KOAM Morning News, more real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch this morning, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's 82-year-old husband was arrested for driving under the influence in California Saturday night. Paul Pelosi was pulled over in Napa County just before midnight and charged with 2 misdemeanors. In addition to driving under the influence, his blood alcohol level was 0.08% or higher. Pelosi was released on a $5,000 bail Sunday morning. His wife, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, was on the East Coast at the time, and her office says she has no comment, calling it a private matter. Search teams in Georgia have recovered the bodies of 3 missing passengers from Saturday's deadly riverboat accident. 5 people were killed early Saturday morning when 2 boats collided on the Wilmington River in Georgia's coastal Chatham County. According to the Georgia Department of Natural Resources, one of the boats had 6 passengers on board and the other had 3. 4 of the passengers suffered minor injuries and were transported to Memorial Health Medical Center in Savannah. President Biden is pledging to take action following the Texas school shooting. Mr. Biden and First Lady Jill Biden visited the heartbroken community of Uvalde yesterday, meeting with the families of the 19 children and 2 teachers who died. Danya Bacchus is there with the latest.
The Department of Justice will conduct a review of the police response to last week's shooting that killed 2 teachers and 19 children at Robb Elementary.
As tragic as this may seem, we need to learn from this.
The DOJ says its goal is to identify the lessons learned and best practices to help first responders prepare for active shooters.
Obviously, the way that you develop policy many times is by learning about the mistakes in the past.
Parents want to know why law enforcement officers, including a federal tactical team, waited outside the classroom for more than 40 minutes before confronting and killing the shooter.
with the benefit of hindsight.
The Texas Department of Public Safety said on Friday, not engaging the shooter earlier was clearly a mistake.
Of course, it was not the right decision. It was a wrong decision, period. There's no excuse for that.
President Biden and the First Lady visited Uvalde on Sunday. The two laid flowers at the memorial outside the school, met privately for 3 hours with the families, and as he left a church service, pledged to do something about gun violence. 11-year-old Bella Barboza was friends with Ellie Garcia, one of the students killed.
Ellie was a very bright girl.
Bella hopes her friend's death will help spark change.
We need to get justice for these children, and that this world is not a good place for children to grow up in.
Funerals start this week for some of the victims. Danya Backus, CBS News, Uvalde, Texas.
More on the DOJ review. It is being conducted by the Office of Community-Oriented Policing, known as COPS, and is typically advocating for better police practices. It is not a criminal investigation. That's a look at today's top national stories. We'll be right back.
For a rat hounded by dogs, that's no walk in the park. And by the way, don't look at the dog park. Ginny Moose talked to the hero who went viral after people thought he was trying to rescue a rat.
Usually sympathy is not something most people feel for rats, but when a rat runs the gauntlet of dogs at a New York City dog park, the rat became the underdog, chased by canines like Zoe.
She got it 3 separate times.
Zoe may be yawning now, but her jaws were engaged, going after that rat.
She's like a hyper hunter. Like, she'll go after pigeons, rats, skateboarders.
The video went viral with someone posting as the rat in a mock Yelp review. Worst park ever, 1 star. Joked someone else, what are all these dogs doing in the rat park? Jonah Ram had just taken 4-year-old Zoe to the vet who had warned about diseases from rats. And then this happened. Jonah leaped into action.
It cracked me up the way that you were sort of putting your body between her and the rat.
Well, I was scared. I mean, to be honest, I was scared that she was going to really chomp down on that rat.
He was protecting his dog from disease, but became known as the hunky hero in the gray hoodie protecting the rat. Zoe's dad is a cutie. Is he single?
I'm not, no. I live with my girlfriend.
We'll never forget the time another Good Samaritan saw a rat about to get squished in Manhattan traffic and scooped it up. The rat that got jumped in the dog park disappeared down a hole. It apparently survived this rat race because a guy in a gray hoodie gave a rat's ass.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Bronte, I was supposed to call him a hunky hero.
You should have.
Well, yeah, I put you on the spot now. Should I have called him hunky?
Yeah, I mean.
Whoa! 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 Bronte Swarovski just came out strong right there. She's like, yeah. Okay, I get it. I get it. Huh. All right, fine. Current conditions oversight. If we can't put a smile on your face, that's all we're trying to do. 72 degrees over 7th and Range Line. The big factor for today is going to be our wind, as we will gust anywhere from 35 to 40 miles per hour. Wind advisories, remember, if you can take some time, enjoy family, friends, thank a veteran, and if you have a family member who is in the military, obviously we want you to know that all of us here at KOAM and Fox 14, we thank you. We thank your family. If you happen to be one of, I hearken back to last week's interview that we did with Dennis Kavanaugh, and I think about his son and the tours of duty that he paid for our country. And so know that we are thinking about you on this day, and take advantage of today. Thank somebody. Enjoy the 80-degree weather. Thunderstorms do arrive Tuesday night into Wednesday, but most importantly, Salute our 4 state heroes. We'll be back with more KOAM Morning News right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, more than 1 million kids in the U.S. aged 14 to 17 become daily tobacco users from 2017 to 2019. University of California, San Diego researchers found more than 3/4 of those teens were using e-cigarettes daily. They say vaping is reversing decades of decline in tobacco addiction. A large study of parents with infants finds many are not sticking to the safe sleep practices after their baby wakes up in the middle of the night. The survey published in Pediatrics found that after nighttime waking, a large proportion of parents switched from safe to unsafe practices, like not sleeping on their back or sleeping in their parents' bed. And researchers at MIT have found a new way to help the medicine go down. They've developed a drug-delivering gel made from plant oils that is easier to swallow than traditional liquids and also stable without refrigeration. They plan to begin a clinical trial within months. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
Why do I feel like we could put that baby video on a loop and it would put a smile on everybody's face? No matter what the story subject was.
I mean, everyone loves babies.
Yeah.
Who hates babies?
It's especially the one baby laying in the crib. That just made me so happy right there. 85 degrees this afternoon, sunny skies, thunderstorms for Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, blustery today. So remember, you got 2 afternoons to get everything done outside before the rain kicks back in for the beginning of June. Be back right after this.
Coming up, a shooting in northeast Oklahoma leaves 1 dead and 7 others injured.
We have a beautiful Memorial Day in store. However, thunderstorms to begin the next month. We'll have the latest from the Skywatch Weather Center.
Also, Color Me Rad surprises people with a visit from a Disney princess.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29. I'm Bronte Sorotsky. We'll get to those stories in a bit, but first, let's go over to Michael with our Memorial Day forecast.
And for all of you that either served, have a family member who served, or we know why this day is so important as we honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country, please know that all of us here at KOAM and Fox 14 owe you not only a debt of gratitude, but are thinking about all of you on this Memorial Day. With that being said, our current conditions over 7th and Rangeline right now sit at 72 degrees. You'll notice that wind coming in from the south at 14 miles per hour. That is going to be a tad bit problematic if you're out on the road today, especially if you're traveling east and west, because what we have in effect are wind advisories lasting until this afternoon, as we will pick up some gusts of 40 miles per hour. As we transition over to the radar, really a lot of this because that dry air mass is hanging over us. You may see a raindrop. If you're in the Erie, Chanute, Fredonia area, you may see a raindrop. That's about all you're going to see. As you push to the central and eastern portion of the 4 states, remaining dry. And really everybody's temperature is very, very warm. As we sat we were in the low 70s pre-sunrise. An indicator that a little bit above average. We would normally clock in around 82 degrees this time of year. We'll be up around 85, 86. Nice thing is humidity, not too bad, so it won't overwhelm us. But what we do have cooking, you guessed it, Gulf moisture. If you're tired of that phrase, I completely understand, because beginning Tuesday afternoon into the evening, it begins to formulate. And then Tuesday night into Wednesday, here come the thunderstorms once again. So despite the fact that we want to be done with everything, and I get it, 5th wettest May on record at Joplin Regional Airport, Bronte. 5th wettest May on record.
Wow.
And what do we do when we turn the calendar? Open it up with rain.
Well, thanks, Michael. I don't even know what more to say from that.
You don't have to say anything. That's between me and Mother Nature.
Mm-hmm.
And we're having that Mother Nature and I are having that conversation offline, because she has a tendency, she's not exactly PG, and so I don't bring that like into the morning show.
Mm-hmm.
I let her kind of vent on the side with me, and
right.
then I deliver it in a PG fashion.
Got it. Well, thanks for explaining to everyone how the weather works. Great to.
That was not how the weather works. That's how Mother Nature works.
Okay, right. Thanks for explaining your relationship with her. I really appreciate that.
Well, Bronte, you know what? She is a fickle mistress.
All right.
You're the best. You tolerate me. You're the best.
Okay. One person is dead and 7 others injured following a shooting at a Memorial Day festival. The shooting happened in the small community of Taft just after midnight. Taft is in Muskogee County, just west of Muskogee, Oklahoma. According to the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, 1 person was killed and at least 7 others were injured. 2 of those were minors. Witnesses say they heard at least 40 shots fired. The OSBI says the investigation is continuing. No arrests have been made. And staying in northeast Oklahoma, the Grand River Dam Authority police are searching for a missing boater. Officials say they're searching a large area of Grand Lake for 48-year-old Troy Young of Bixby. GRDA police say they were notified Young was missing around 8 a.m. Saturday morning and that Young was last seen around 10:30 Friday night. Officers recovered Young's boat near the entrance of Ketchum Cove, about 1.5 miles from Cedar Port. Authorities are asking any boaters in the area to be mindful of the search efforts, and anyone with information is asked to call the GRDA police. The Fort Scott National Historic Site is in the 4th year of the annual Symbols of Sacrifice Field of Honor. They placed just under 8,600 flags out in their field honoring those who've fallen and who've sacrificed for our country. Guided tours started Friday and run through today. These tours are both in the morning and afternoon.
What this country has gone through, and it's growing through the Civil War, through the Mexican-American War, and all the different strifes and trials and tribulations that we've been through since then. So Memorial Day and Memorial Weekend is just part of that. It's part of our discussion of freedom and what we need to do as a country and as a person to ensure that we stay free.
Workers and volunteers spent 4 hours placing the flags in the field. Well, Color Me Rad had a special guest from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. this weekend. Who was that special guest? Well, it was Princess Elsa from Frozen. They were treated with a performance from her singing songs from the movie, followed by a book reading, arts and crafts, and lastly, a dance party.
One of the little girls kept wanting to go back to Elsa and hug her, and she didn't want to leave. And, unfortunately, Elsa's only here for 2 hours, and so the poor little girl started crying. But the kids are so excited. We had one little girl that didn't know Elsa was going to be here, and when she walked into the room, Elsa was singing, and the pure joy, that look on her face.
Color Me Rad has locations in Joplin and Webb City. A man from Mountain View, Arkansas has now been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder following 2 double homicide investigations on April 21st. Noah Tucker has more.
We would like to announce today the arrest of Donnie Lee Trammell, age 54, of Mountain View, Arkansas, in the death investigations of Shirley and James, known as Cecil Waters, as well as the deaths of William, known as Clinton, and Sharon Trammell.
4 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of aggravated residential burglary, and theft and possession of a firearm. Charges spurring from 2 different crime scenes.
An elderly couple found deceased in their home located on Highway 5 South. The 2 residences were approximately a half a mile apart.
Trammell is accused of killing a woman and her son, as well as his own parents.
My heart does go out to the families of the Waters and the Trammells. Our communities took a lick on this, and my heart goes out to them.
Charges authorities hope will bring some peace to a shaken rural community.
All law enforcement in this community stepped up, and we're hoping this will put people at ease a little more, the public, We had a lot of people didn't feel safe going back home, and we think having Donnie Trammell charged, maybe people can just go back to normal.
Investigators have not released a possible motive in the case. It's also unknown at this time the relationship between the Waters and the Trammells. The investigation is ongoing. The Stone County Sheriff's Office is not releasing the full report to the public, saying it wants to maintain the integrity of a likely trial.
Trammell was arrested on April 22nd for probation violations unrelated to the case. His bond is $4 million. Well, today, back in 2005, Coldplay's new album was illegally put on the internet before its UK and US release. The leak took place on the day copies were sent to UK radio stations and the day before it went on sale in Japan. Security measures around the release, including hosting album playbacks at Abbey Road Studios for journalists instead of sending them out copies of the album. And any CDs that were sent out were labeled with a false name, the Fir Trees, to throw off any would-be pirates off of the scent.
Do people still listen to CD? You had a CD player.
I actually did. It was a SpongeBob one. I distinctly
But you
remember
had a CD
it.
player?
Yeah,
Okay.
when I was like very little. But, you know.
Wow.
I mean, I wasn't.
It's like the slings and arrows that you throw at me because I'm older than you. Have me ducking.
I don't do it on purpose. It just kind of
Jiminy
comes out.
Bronte.
I could relate to you
No,
at
fine.
one point
So I
in
had
my
a car
life.
with a tape player. It's fine. Everything's fine.
My mom's old car, when I was a kid growing up, we would play CDs.
Once again. Here we go. Tell me when you're.
I think that's it for now. We still have a few more hours to go.
Right. Next thing you know, Bronte's going to be like, well, my great-grandparents had that, Michael. That's very kind of you. Do you have a favorite, Coldplay, do you have a favorite song?
Oh gosh, so I wasn't too into Coldplay. I liked oh my god, why am I blanking on a song? Viva La Vida. Yeah. That one, Fix You. Is that Coldplay?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm trying to think of what else. I haven't listened to them in a while.
You're your Bronte top 10 here. This is great.
I know, yeah. Okay, I'm kind of blanking on the rest of them.
Hey, on your way back home after the show, warning signs.
Okay. Yeah, I'll mix up some Beatles, Coldplay.
Right. Warning signs is one of those that, like, I'm not a Coldplay fan.
Mm-hmm.
I like warning signs. I appreciate the music in that.
Okay, I'll check it out.
That being said, I am not a music snob, for sure. 7-day forecast, 85 degrees, sunny skies. Remember, going to be windy today. Thunderstorm activity kicking in tomorrow night, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and a wet beginning to June.
That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Top Gun soars into high amounts of money at the domestic box office. Plus, with the tragedy in Texas, lawmakers are once again debating on gun control laws as people want change. Today, we want to know, what do you think? Lawmakers should pass new gun laws? We'll let you weigh in, and we'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, baby formula is still in short supply. According to Data Assembly, which tracks product data, nearly 70% of formula was out of stock for the week ending May 21st. But easing the shortage, a second delivery from overseas, with the equivalent of about 1 million bottles, will be hitting shelves this week. Americans traveling in the air this Memorial Day weekend may have experienced some issues. The tracking website FlightAware reports there have been more than 5,000 cancellations since Friday, with those flying Delta Airlines most likely to see problems. Airlines have struggled to keep up with demand this year, in part due to staffing shortages, COVID, and this weekend. Stormy weather also added to the issues. Well, the F-18s in Top Gun Maverick took off as scheduled. The sequel from Paramount Global, the parent company of CBS and Paramount Pictures, soared to $124 million at the domestic box office in its first 3 days. It's Tom Cruise's best debut ever and one of the biggest for Memorial Day weekend. That's it for Consumer Watch. Now let's go over to Michael for our Something to Talk About.
And thank you for the disclaimer about Paramount Pictures and making sure that you know that it's a part of CBS. I greatly appreciate that. That was an integral part of that story.
Well, you're welcome. I try.
You did a great job delivering the news.
Well, thank you. That's certainly what I aim for.
Val Kilmer. Like, you know Val Kilmer, right?
No.
Does that? Okay.
Rings.
What if I were to say Iceman?
I think I'm even more lost. Say Iceman?
Tim, help me. Help me. Val Kilmer, Iceman. Yeah, Tim's he's on board.
Okay, well, he should.
So,
bring
okay,
it up.
so I need you and the viewing audience, your fans, we need you to watch the first Top Gun.
Okay.
Okay? So Tom Cruise is Pete Mitchell as Maverick. Val Kilmer, you're going to recognize him when you see him.
Okay.
He's Iceman.
Okay.
And they have a rivalry. And in the end, I bet you everything works out. But you're also going to have romance and tumultuous loss of loved people in between.
Is this what's
Oh! Yeah! Hey!
Wait, okay, point him out to
Okay,
me.
so that's Anthony Edward there. Okay, so that's Val Kilmer, Iceman. There's Pete Mitchell. There, that's Goose. That's Goose. Do you know the line, "Talk to me, Goose"? You don't know "Talk to me, Goose"?
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's Slider. That's Slider that you just saw. That's the tall guy. He's Slider. That's Goose again. Folks at home, this is because our director, Tim, is okay, that's Val Kilmer. You know Val Kilmer, right?
I don't know who that is. Are we allowed to be showing this? Like,
It doesn't
did we
matter.
Just pull this
Why
from
are you, what are you doing? Just, no, Tim, no. Oh, even Tim's like, there's only so much time I can show it. I love it.
Hey, I'm just looking out for the station here.
Oh.
What?
No, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. And so, if you're I can't because I'll just get in trouble. I was going to give you a line from you in the control room. Those of you at home probably know the line that I was going to use that Meg Griffin has as Goose's wife when she is in the bar. But probably shouldn't do that. What I should do right now is go to break and come back and celebrate birthdays and anniversaries right after this.
We take this time to honor today's Fourth State hero, Billy Venable. Sergeant Billy Venable served in the Army in Vietnam from January 1968 to August 1968, where he was killed in action. During his service, he obtained a Bronze Star and a Purple Heart.
Let's kick this birthday list off with, well, actually, before we kick the birthday list off, let's take time from all of us here at KOAM and Fox 14 to talk about Memorial Day and people like Billy Venable and also those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our country. And please know that all of us here at KOAM and Fox 14 extend that thankfulness and those wishes to those 4 state families that have lost someone in the line of duty. And there's not a tribute we can pay other than to say thank you. And so know that comes from our hearts. All right, so let's get the birthday list started, because when you go roll in the John Deere and you're turning 4, you can't get a better life than this. And by the way, Mr. Barcelona, while you got that mower in the back of that John Deere, if you want to stop by my house and maybe help out with the lawn, I would love it. Happy birthday to Gio Barcelona, turning the big number 4.
All right, next we have Novely
beautiful
January.
Oh my God.
I know, I've never heard that name.
I haven't either. And I think it's just absolutely gorgeous, a gorgeous name and a gorgeous picture.
Yes, so Novely is turning 6 years old out of Pittsburgh, and Novely has love from dad, mom, and the whole family.
Novely, you are blessed with such a marvelous name. That is one of those things when she becomes a young adult, she's gonna be queen of the castle. It's gonna be like, what a great name. Yeah, that's so cool.
And that's
Zoe,
a cool photo.
you know what else is a great name? Zoe. Zoe Powell. And Zoe, I say that because I actually have a niece by that exact same name. And I love this picture as well. That is colorful as can be. Zoe turns the big number 9 tomorrow. Or no, she did it over the weekend. My bad. But yes, Zoe celebrated over the weekend, and we will continue it all the way into June for you, Zoe.
Also having a Saturday birthday was Cecily Kennedy. Cecily turned 12 years old and is out of Goodman. So happy birthday, Cecily. Hope you had a great weekend.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
Cicely.
Okay.
It's okay.
I mean, there's this one SNL, and her name is Cecily, so I just kind of assumed that's how it was.
Yeah, I know.
So do you know?
No, it's cool.
Sorry about that, Cecily. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh.
Oh, stop.
I'll just leave now.
No, that would be just like knowing the Kennedys. Yeah, that's all it is. We love you, Cicely. Happy birthday. Hunter Earl, turning 15. I'm down with it. Like, it took me a while because Bronte knows I'm an old man, but like I'm down with the shades on top of the hat. I get it. It's
Are they
practical.
upside down?
Hunter's turning 15 in Jasper, and so my whole thing about the shades is, what it does is blocking the J. Because he's out there, he's got Jasper Eagle pride. And yeah, so I want to point out, that's a J on top of that hat. Happy birthday, Hunter.
All right, turning 21 years old is Heather Finley, and Heather is out of Chanute.
We got Haley Hensley turning 22. Now, that is Haley on the right, and that's Ashton on the left. Ashton had a birthday earlier this month, and then Haley celebrates right now and turning 22, and a very happy birthday to Haley in Pittsburgh.
All right, we have Kinsey Clark turning 25 years old. Kinsey, that is a great photo. I can't tell where that's taken, but that looks super cool.
It was actually in the Sorotsky backyard, which you people don't know.
Is that what people think that California looks like?
Right. Kinsey and her significant other actually took that in Bronte's backyard, right here in the 4 states. Amanda Beard turning Miss Amanda, that woman is awesome. Miss Amanda's turning 42. Amanda, a very happy birthday to you in Columbus.
We have Mickey Hitchcock turning 48 years old, and Mickey is out of Joplin. Have a great day and happy birthday.
Albert Budd had a birthday a little bit ago, but I wanted to make sure that we were able to include him. And as he turns 74, and Albert, I want you to know this comes with love from family and friends. Curtis Nida with a birthday as well. A very happy birthday to you, Mr. Curtis. He is in Miami.
We have Craig Rennie.
Who?
Craig
Who?
Rennie out of Columbus.
Dude?
So fun fact, he is our master control operator, Daniel Rennie's father.
Well, not fun. That is a fun fact, but also too, he's one of the nicest dudes you're gonna meet. And it's a tribute that he raised Daniel. Because Craig, you know we love you, and a very happy birthday. That is great. Kevin and Tiffany Yarnell are celebrating their 24th anniversary. What a gorgeous picture that is as well. My goodness, look at that background right there.
Seriously.
That is tremendous. So a very happy birthday to Kevin and Tiffany, celebrating 24 years in Erie.
another anniversary, we have Brian and Dawn Carlson. They are celebrating their 30th anniversary, and they are out of Pittsburgh. So
check this one out.
What?
51 years for Tom and Deanna Lockmiller.
Wow.
Trevor, don't. They're celebrating their 51st anniversary. And I tell you what, if you look at the two of them, like they don't even look 51 themselves.
Right?
That's it. I mean, it's
I was surprised by it when I saw
it's
51
like,
years.
Lockmillers, they live life right. 51 years of marriage, and they don't look 51. So congratulations, Tom and Deanna. And Tom Bosicki, that dude, yeah, who that is. That's one of our own right there. One of our master control operators. Tremendous gentleman. Absolutely love you, Tom. And by the way, folks, if I could peel back the curtain right now, we've got people just like going crazy, saying go to break. And so, do we have Bill McCumber? Yeah! Happy birthday to Bill McCumber. Susan Payne, a happy 61st birthday in Eldo. Garrick Alford, celebrating 46 in Questline. Happy birthday, Garrick. And Marvin Bond, a happy birthday in Anderson. Be back with more KOAM Morning News right after.